And we are live. What is going on, everybody out there? We are so happy to have a very special guest. We have Tanya. What is going on?
Hi. Everything's going on. What's going on with you guys?
Right.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'll tell you. We're so excited to be able to talk to Tanya because, you know, she's a podcaster. She's a musician, bassist. She's been in an extremely awesome, amazing rock band. You know, I'm so excited to be able to talk some of this with you today. And then you also are into the beard game. So you have some connections there as well. And you're a mom of some wonderful kids. Yeah, I love that about you. That was the first thing that struck out was that you're podcasting about your experiences as a mom, which is completely awesome, which is really awesome. I think that really goes a long way with helping other people's out. Because when you can talk about those experiences and have fun with them and realize that this is just momhood, parenthood is here. So cool. So very cool.
It's real. It's in your face. It's going to happen. So if you can't talk about it, you might as well not lie about it.
Absolutely. And you are Canadian.
Yes.
Out of Montreal, right?
Out of Ontario. I'm in Ontario. Which I'm London, Ontario.
Okay. I was reading something
close
about
to Montreal.
Yeah, I was reading some bio line that said Kitty rock band out of Montreal. So
well, I'm playing in Montreal. Montreal's kind of like in Canada, where you want to go for full contact lap dances for like $2. I'm sure there are lots of places like that in America.
There certainly are.
I've driven by them. Hello. I've driven by them so many times on the way to Florida, where like we drive to Florida, before the pandemic, pre-pandemic with 2 kids. The first time we went to Florida, we went to go to Disney World. We took the kids, and our youngest was 9 months old and our eldest was 3.5. So imagine like driving from here. It's like a 20 some odd hour drive going down to Florida. And like, as we were getting to some of the more southern states, we'd see these signs for the same stripper club. I don't know what it was called, but they called it like a gentleman's club. And there was just this lady just grinding a pole. And of course, like my husband's driving, so he's like not looking. But I'm like, look at all these strippers. And he's like, what? I'm like, look at all the strippers. There's strippers everywhere. And like the kids have earphones on, the baby's sleeping. And I'm just talking about strippers in the car, and we're on the way to Disney World.
Like stripper crossing.
But yeah. Oh my God. But like, yeah, Montreal is definitely like used to be like the Amsterdam of Canada.
That makes sense.
The $2 lap dances, I'm pretty sure, are the hottest girls there. So.
Oh, definitely. What you can see a girl do with a pop bottle for $2 is something. The window goes up, you put the quarter in. I don't know if it's like that anymore. I mean, back in the day.
It could be different. Yeah, it could be different.
20 years ago, Montreal was filthy.
Might have gone up to $5.
Oh yeah, you have to actually stick. I don't know if I want to put anything in a slot there though. That's loaded.
What's going on, James?
Not much.
So yeah, we're so excited to have you on. And you know what? Me and James totally went down the kitty rabbit hole this last week or so. And
awesome.
I was listening to music, podcasts, anything that had anything to do with you. Yeah. And you know what? This is my kind of metal. So that was the best part about it. Oh, totally so. Totally so. I was like
happy.
Yeah. So I play guitar. So that was what kind of got me was metal. That's what got me into playing guitar was metal. And it first started off like we were talking about 80s metal, right? That was where you first start off. Motley Crue. I do have some guilt. What is your guilty 80s band that you don't admit to other people that you ever listen to?
Ooh, I don't know, because I admit pretty much everything that I listen to.
No, that's
guilty 80s band. I'm like I'm not ashamed that I listen to everything. Like I listen to a lot of, this is strange, but Yngwie Malmsteen. like for that technical guitar stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of like weird classical stuff. I like Django Reinhardt. I love when it's guitar driven stuff like that. But I listen to like a lot of like bass like by itself. I listen to like a lot of isolated tracks. So that is some of my like guilty pleasures that I don't talk about very often. That I won't like listen to full bands. I will listen to isolated musical tracks. I will listen to isolated vocal tracks. It's weird to some people, but for me it's fun because I can really like listen to it just by itself and like feel it and like check it out. Really feel the vibe. Like, whoa, what did that like when like Tommy Lee's playing something, just an isolated drum track. I want to hear that drum track. I just want to hear the sound. I just want to hear it get pounded out,
That's nice.
Sometimes
Very
listening to those isolated tracks is cool, or like an acoustic version of something or an outtake of something. It's like almost being at the band's like band practice. That is what I'm guilty of, being kind of like Snoopy.
Those are what I enjoy too. Whether they do like I said, drum tracks that like they go to I don't know, like a music whatever, like a demo whatever, and they'll do like drums or whatever. And
exactly.
I've done that with certain drummers that I enjoy, and I'll just watch that for like a couple hours. Literally, like I'll just go through the whole rabbit hole.
You can like you get sucked into it. Like who do you guys like? Who are your guilty pleasures? Who do you love?
So I back in the day, remember Europe? I owned every album that Europe had. I owned every single one of them. Oh yeah, and even the ones that were like they did
like obscure, like weird ones.
Yeah, they had some very different albums, especially their newer ones. They created albums way past the 80s and early 90s, right? And they just kept going. But I like the stuff that was pre-released before they hit it with the Final Countdown album.
Okay.
And so crazy, because that was like, and it's all that 80s glam rock. I like still like
top.
It was, and it was a fun time to be in, and it was a fun time to be as a kid, to think that you would become that one day. I picked up a guitar for the first time thinking that I was going to be the next crew. I'm going to be the next. That's right.
Why not dream big? If you're going to be a kid, pick up a guitar and be whoever the fuck you want. Sorry, but be whoever you want, man. Follow your dream. James, who did you want to be? What did you pick up? Who did you want to be, man?
Who did I want to be?
Yeah.
Man, when I was in high school, I played like alto saxophone. That was like, I was in band. So I did that, and I did like keyboard class like that. Yeah. So that was one of my first instruments I kind of picked up, was like the keyboard, because I can really kind of hear the music. I didn't even know notes, anything, how to read music or whatever, but like I would kind of go with listening to it. My keyboard.
That's how I learned too.
With that, that's how I wanted to learn more about it. So that's what got me into music, really. And like I said, listening to different genres is what kind of drove me to liking music even more. I've always wanted to like play in front of like a crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have that, like you listen to music and you're like, you imagine being in front of that crowd. So that's like one thing my pleasure and my kind of like want. You know what I'm saying, to do.
Sure. Like your COVID filthy fantasy. What would you do if the shitty virus didn't exist? What's your filthiest COVID fantasy? And yours is like play a fucking show. Just like, surround. It's different to play an instrument alone than it is to play with other people, obviously. Like you'll get a different vibe, right? You feed off the energy off the crowd. Some people don't. I get nervous and puke, and then eventually I'm fine, and I feed off the energy off the crowd. I've gone and seen people, like I was talking about my last podcast. I went to see Frank Turner, who is an artist out of the UK. He used to be like a punk rocker hard, and now he plays like almost acoustic hardcore, I would call it. And I went to see him. I've never seen anyone feed off energy off of an audience since I've like seen Crew live. He just like soaked it in. He like took their essence, like the Dark Crystal, like they were podlings, and just gave it to him. He was awesome. So I understand that wanting to play in front of an audience, because it's a totally different experience and vibe, and you will play differently as a musician.
Right.
So what
always.
was your inspirations growing up?
Inspiration?
What kind of
Honestly,
what
Beatles.
Beatles?
I
Good
was
one.
born and bred on like the Beatles and a lot of British music, a lot of polka music. So on one side, my dad's side is British, and my mom's side are Polacks. There are like Polish people, and there are like Polacks. So I had that like mishmash. So I had like the British invasion coming in with like I had like Dusty Springfield, the Beatles, and then I had like the Beach Boys. My mom loved like the Bee Gees and things like that. But then my dad played guitar like crazy. So he'd always play guitar with me. So I was listening to like Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. And then he had things like Blondie. My dad loved Cyndi Lauper. He loved Fleetwood Mac. He loved, like I say, Yngwie Malmsteen. He loved Django Reinhardt. So I got a lot of early influences from my dad. But when I was a kid, like I wanted to be, younger kid, like 14, 13, I wanted to be Courtney Love. I just thought she was the shit. She was just amazing. She still says whatever the fuck is on her mind.
She does.
She's still amazing. She's cleaned it up. Like she's cleaned her act up completely, but she's still the same. That's what I wanted to be.
My Courtney Love. So my Courtney Love story is that
You got one.
I do have one. So my friend was the talent coordinator at the Today Show or the Tonight Show for Jay Leno.
Okay.
So she was picking up Courtney Love at her house, hotel, whatever it was.
Sure.
She was outside naked, breaking up and beating up her boyfriend, and wouldn't get in the limo. And so her whole job was just to get Courtney Love in the limo, and had to have like people. She's naked in the front yard of this house or whatever she was in, naked, strung out. And she's trying to just get her in the limo. Get her in the limo. Can you get her in the limo? She's like talking to her on the phone. No, she doesn't want to get in the limo. She's fighting with this guy outside. She's naked. And they're like, what? I said, that's the craziest Courtney Love story that I've ever heard. I've never heard of her. She's just naked outside.
I've never heard of a nude one. Like boobs, but I've never heard of a nude one. I think Rob and I were talking about last night. I'm like, who flashed their tits on Letterman? Was it Courtney Love or was it Drew Barrymore? Or was it both?
It could have
been. I think it might have been Courtney. It might have been both, maybe.
I know both of them flashed their boobs on somewhere. I saw both sets. I just can't remember which sets I saw which hosts on. That is a crazy. I've never heard a Courtney Love like naked story. I've heard tons of Courtney Love stories.
Said Barrymore. Gary said Drew Barrymore.
Oh, and Gary knows.
It was Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
Because like she got up on his desk and like right in the face. Like in the face. She was naked. That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny? Imagine that, like, and stars. I mean, you've hung out with, real rock stars, so you're hanging out with them, and they really do. There is like a party that is always going on around a lot of these folks. Now, some bands they're not like that, but if you think about some of the bigger '80s bands, I mean, I'm sure that in your lifestyle, the lifestyle that you had as Kitty, there was a certain amount of total party all the time after the concert was over.
There was a certain like extent of it, but like we were like so young at the time. It was going on like all around us. It was like being in the middle of a tornado. It's like we knew it was going on around us, and we'd have like beers and like Zima and stuff like that. And like once in a while, I'd smoke a joint and whatever. But we knew there was things going around us, but not to the extent like we weren't as aware as we are now. Like I'm sure there was shit going on that we had no idea about. Like adult groups that we were touring with that were doing things like that we had no idea about. We just thought they were having fun and, knocking back a few beers. Yeah, we were drinking beers when we were 16 and stuff like that. We weren't supposed to be, but whatever. We were drinking Zima. We were in the States.
Right. Who was at that time? You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I was drinking.
Everybody was having bush bashes and you know what I mean? Like everybody drinking out in the bush.
Right.
Yeah. And so like for us being a kid at that age, it was literally like having a sleepover with your best friends every single night that just didn't end. And then we just happened to get to play music too, which was like a fucking huge bonus, which was awesome. But there was so much shit going on around us. And like you say, to a certain extent, there was there were certain places, you would go where there would be a party. I remember one like particular party us going, like we got invited to, and it was for like a makeup company. And we got there and it was like a huge party. And there were tons of like real famous like people there, like celebrities, like people that you would know namely. And they had all these models in these glass boxes. And I just remember thinking like, this is so surreal. Is this really how the other half lives? This is fucking something.
Out
Like we were just babies, man. Yeah. So for us, that was really like shell shocking. So for me, at least it was definitely shocking. It was something. And I remember at that particular party.
I didn't realize how young you guys were at that time.
You and I were talking about that the other day. Yeah, because you're like, I had no idea.
Right. Like you were like when you first started, you were like 13, right? Like when you were in Kitty. That's 13.
Like I started like I met them. We were young, and like we were starting like high school. We were babies.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
We're like,
wow.
We'd seen, some concerts and
you're experiencing adult shit at like 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's weird. It's weird to think about it now, and as a parent, oh my god! And you will you guys will resonate with this. As a parent, that's horrifying.
I can't even imagine. Can't even. Imagine.
Would you let your kids be in a band and tour?
No, I probably wouldn't.
My answer is
my job and
hell no.
Or with them, and like I would be just like a watchdog. I'm like, you ain't doing nothing.
I know. I'd be like Black Mirror.
Like I'm gonna be around you 24/7.
Oh my God, Boone's Farm strawberry. Oh shit, we used to drink that in the States. Boone's Farm. Oh my God.
Boone's Farm.
I just threw everybody under the fucking bus because Boone's Farm. That is so old, but that's so like that generation.
It is so
Boone's
much
Farm. I'm gonna go get some shit. I'm gonna go get some clothes from Hot Topic. I'm gonna go get me some Boone's Farm. I'm gonna go fishing outside the liquor store. I gotta get somebody with an ID. Get me some fucking Zima. I need some Zima. Do they still sell Zima?
I don't think Zima exists anymore. And I think now it's what is it? That White Claw? Is that the name of the newer one? That's almost like the same thing. Yeah.
It's like, is it like a Zima?
It's like the new Zima.
It's seltzer alcohol pretty much.
Yeah, it's like Zima.
I don't drink, so I don't know. But I did. Now I have a Dr. Pepper. That's about as hardcore as it gets for drinking for me. Usually it's milk.
Milk is good.
James knows it. James knows it.
Milk. Doing milk.
always doing the milk.
Shooting the milk. So what kind of
later?
So you were like really young. Now, what got you into bass? So my son plays stand-up bass currently in orchestra.
Nice.
And so he's really in, and I have a stepson who's 29 who plays bass all the time too. So I grew up and I grew up. That was my first electric instrument. So I had an acoustic guitar before I got my I got an Ibanez when I was 13, 14 as my first electric guitar. But before that, my mom had like old PV bass with a PV like the PV setup, like the amp and everything was all PV, like sick. It was like a professional amp. I don't know why they had it, but they had everything for this bass, and it was like the heaviest thing ever. I don't know if
oh my god, PVs are heavy. I don't know what they make them out of.
Yeah, like solid wood, that's for sure.
Right?
Solid freaking wood.
Hardest, heaviest wood.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I'm sitting here. That's when I started learning. I started learning some bass lines on it, and so I was sitting there learning some bass lines, and then my parents bought me a guitar, and then sayonara. I'm going to become the next lead guitarist for AC/DC.
That was your thing. Mine was guitar first. I went the other way. I was piano. Well, first I was accordion, to be honest. I started playing accordion when I was like 3, and I still like rock a giant fucking accordion now.
Love it.
It's huge, but I broke the leather straps on it, so I have to get like a leathersmith to actually take care of it properly because it's an Italian accordion. It's serious stuff. But then I got into playing like piano and stuff like this and keyboard and stuff, and then I figured it was guitar this way, so you can turn the piano and everything kind of that way. And musicians will understand what I mean. People who don't play won't understand this.
Makes sense.
So my dad played guitar. What's up, everybody? I'm just looking at the chat.
I know.
I don't know how fast it goes. Well, I started playing guitar with my dad. My first guitar was actually a Gibson SG. It was a 1976 custom. It had a black pick guard on it. It was bitching. It was
love
awesome.
it,
The
love
action
it,
was
love it.
nice and low. Oh, it looked
Yeah.
like actually what Louise Post played on Eight Arms to Hold You with Veruca Salt in in the Volcano Girls video where they're bouncing up and down on bungee cords and shit. So I played that, and then I played guitar for so long. I had a myriad of acoustic guitars, 12 strings. I like folk instruments a lot, ukulele, mandolins, and then I kind of met the girls from Kitty, and they were like, "Well, we need a bass player." I'm like, "Well, you know what? I can play 6 strings. I can play 4." So I said to my dad, I said, "Dad, I need a bass." So he bought me a Fender Squire Music Master bass, a short scale bass.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
And it had the regular pickups in it. But then actually we got these guys in town, they were called the Haken Brothers at the time, put in some Line 6 pickups. I've never changed the pickups since I got it in Kitty. It's the exact same bass. I've still got it. I play it whenever I play bass. It's the only bass I play. So I started playing that. I played it through, when we first started having band practice with Kitty, I played it through like their stereo because I didn't have a bass amp yet. And then before I had a bass amp, I played it through my dad's PV guitar amp.
That's
so
right.
there's a hats off to PV. And it used to squeal like a son of a bitch because who plays a bass through a fucking guitar amp? Because there was all that low end.
That's right.
So there was me.
So I tried to play electric guitar through a bass amp.
But that's a little bit more badass. Was it like muddy?
It was really muddy.
Oh, Gary loved Veruca Salt too.
Yeah. That's
Royal
funny.
Thunder. So lead singer plays bass. I know of her. I just don't know. I don't know the songs of the band. I don't know the band. Like I know the band Royal Thunder. I just don't know the songs. But I will check them out. I will check out some tunes. And she plays bass.
Good bassist.
Wow.
So
there
you stuck. So that's
bassists.
how. So that's how you got into bass. So.
And I couldn't stop after that. I just couldn't stop.
Best bassist out there right now that you would say for electric bass.
Whew. Oh my god! Like
There's
alive.
a lot of best live.
Like live or alive or like dead, like posthumous bass player.
It could be anybody in the past. Who would you say was the best at his skill, alive or dead?
No.
Oh God.
There's a lot of really good bases.
Many.
There are.
Why you do this to me?
Top.
I don't know who to
pick. Top three.
Well,
we'll go top 3.
I think a bass player that I love who is super underrated, and they're super underrated musicians to begin with, is are the Beatles. Paul McCartney is actually a really solid bass player just when you isolate bass tracks alone. I'm not talking about Beatles music, but Lemmy, holy shit. Lemmy is a completely amazing bass player. And oh man, he is amazing. But also one of my favorite bass players is female. I fucking love Carol Kay. She was a session musician. She played for the Wrecking Crew, like with Hal Blaine drums. She played on a lot of Beach Boys tracks, a lot of early tracks with the Wall of Sound with Phil Spector and things. She was a session musician. She could pound out anything. She had like a jazz sort of feel. She always played like a Fender jazz bass. She was a finger picker. She was awesome. Those I would say I would isolate as bass players that I really like.
Very nice. Very nice. I think. What?
I'm just seeing Lemmy passed away on his birthday. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
That's not nice.
That's a bummer.
It's a huge bummer.
Yeah, I
love Motorhead.
Motorhead is good. Motorhead is
they're
good.
So bass driven, right? They're a metal band and they're bass driven as fuck. Like, and the bass player is the singer.
Right.
Let me have it. I love Motorhead.
Yeah.
So,
that was
Cliff Burton was another one that I liked. Cliff Burton.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff Burton was. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Metallica. From Metallica.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Geezer from Black Sabbath.
Oh yes, I've actually met him because
he's a butler.
Yeah, so he became like a huge Christian, and then had like a Christian. Yeah, he was on the Christian circuit for a while, and so he would do all these like speaking gigs at like different Christian camps. Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, interesting.
That is really interesting,
especially coming from Sabbath, because nobody thinks.
Oh, yeah. Like church and Black Sabbath.
It's like everyone thinks they're sacrificing animals on altars. I said something the other day about Ozzy Osbourne like biting the head off a bat. And of course my 6-year-old goes, so he started coronavirus? I'm like, oh fuck.
He did.
Fuck
Blame
me. I'm
Ozzy.
like,
Blame Ozzy.
like the guy who's gonna live till 1,000,000. He's
He
great.
is.
He's
He is
fucking great. I
awesome.
know he's suffering like from Parkinson's and stuff right now. Like I
Right.
see everyone's like, oh, Ozzy looks terrible. I'm like, are you serious? He doesn't look terrible at all. Like he's alive. He looks great.
Right.
He's being taken care of. He's got Parkinson's. Metallica was never the same after Cliff Burton passed. I completely agree.
Right.
Right.
Randy Rhoads was amazing.
Yeah.
Randy Rhoads, though. So we can talk about maybe some guitarist or band members that you would say they were cut down too short of time. You know, like Randy Rhoads, I would say definitely Cliff Burton. There's so many other
27 Club, like anyone who was 27.
AC/DC's
Bon Scott.
Bon Scott. Yep,
Oh,
I was going.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think he was the front man.
He choked on his own vomit, did he not?
He did. That's
that
what
was
he died
his. That was a.
Yep.
He aspirated. Yeah.
Yep. He
Mama
aspirated.
Cass Elliott, she was another one, like an aspirator, and she was. She had a beautiful voice, just absolutely stunning. No one really looked at her in the Mamas and the Papas because she was like the big girl. Everybody was looking at the skinny chick with the pretty face, but then Mama Cass like opened her mouth, and holy shit, it was like an entire choir of angels singing.
Right.
Put that on a metal track. Like that would be awesome. There were a lot of people like struck down before their prime. Like I find, and it's that whole like Return of Saturn thing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Return of Saturn thing.
I have read something about it in some article once, and it's like I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a long time ago.
It's basically like with the way the planets align. I don't know if I believe this or not, but from the ages of 27 to 30, you're like tested. You're tested to see if you can get through certain things. And if you make it, you know, you do. It's supposed to be this thing called the Return of Saturn. You can Google it. It's really strange. And like a lot of people didn't make it through their Return of Saturn. But a lot of that is when a lot of artists got sober. Like I was watching a documentary with Patty Schemmel, who's like the drummer of Hole. She had her whole Return of Saturn at 27. She almost died from being addicted to like heroin and almost got kicked out of Hole. But then she ended up getting sober instead.
Right.
So some people make it, some people don't.
Well, Kurt Cobain so I still
gigantic.
Yeah, so Kurt Cobain was the one from my time period, other than I was a huge AC/DC fan, so Bon Scott, of course. But absolutely. I think Kurt Cobain was the one that hit a generation of kids because he was grunge. He was the original, that was the thing that we associated with at that time frame, especially for the delusional youth of that time frame. We said that's our lead guy. And he had made
that was like the Jesus guy, like that was the Jesus Christ of grunge, you know what I mean? And not to like not Christianity or anything, but
I remember being in high school, there was a girl in my class that was like, you would think that she was with him. You know what I'm saying? She was one of the biggest fans of Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he had influence. Amazing influence.
He was. Like even like when he passed. Like when he passed away, I remember where I was when he died, when he passed on. I remember a girl coming into my class with like a People magazine with all the different like pictures of memorials they'd set up for Kurt Cobain and stuff like that. It was something that I'll never forget for sure. And I always wonder what would music be like had he still been alive. Would we see what we see today?
I know. Well, we wouldn't have had what was his band that he created, or that was after, and then they became the. What was his band? What was the two members after Nirvana? They went and created.
Oh well, the Foo Fighters and Sweet 65.
The Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters. Yeah, Dave Grohl did the Foo Fighters, and then Chris Novoselic, the bass player, did Sweet 65 with his wife, I believe.
Right. And Foo Fighters is definitely the more, I would say, popular one that's still out there, still kicking it. But just amazing. And then grunge was really never the same after that piece.
No, it really changed. It went in a totally different direction. And I mean, I don't know if everybody wanted to do it so much anymore. Like they were just like, well, our leader is kind of, I don't know who we're going to have to lead us anymore.
Right.
What are they going to do? You know, so
grunge master. I mean, I'm saying
right.
Oh yeah, there was nobody.
Who now? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna take that role?
There wasn't.
And then who is going to want to like fill those shoes too?
It's almost like that's when music kind of changed to something else after the grunge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people did grunge, but it wasn't like, you know, Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? It was,
no, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. They still had like Mudhoney and bands sort of like that, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But we still have all those wonderful records and stuff. We can still listen to it. We still got it.
Great stuff. Still great stuff. So for my daughter's generation, it was Linkin Park. The lead singer.
Linkin Park, okay.
Yeah, so the lead singer who passed away recently.
He passed on too.
Yeah, and he was another one of those. There's a whole slew of individuals that were linked, but Linkin Park was my daughter's like Kirk. She was so into Linkin Park. I love Linkin Park too, but she really Linkin Park's a great band.
Did she have a really big connection with them?
She did. She had an extreme connection with Linkin Park because of if you think about the messages that, just like Kurt Cobain, his messages that he was coming out with to the youth during that time period, it was that message of it's okay and I accept you. And I think Linkin Park was in that same place. It's okay to feel emotional. And they kind of they expressed their emotions and things that people were feeling, especially a teenager. Sure. Especially
you're feeling that angst, you're feeling all those feelings. You don't know what to do with them. You want somewhere that's like inclusive. What metal bands does Metal Chef like? Everybody, Chad wants to know what metal bands does Metal Chef like. James, who do you like?
First metal band like I grew up like in your genre, like the kitty genre was like Slipknot.
Anything? No, what metal bands do you like?
No. I'm listening at like Slipknot was like the first kind of like into like the scene, and then obviously it was Kitty, and then it was Marilyn Manson, like Lamb of God.
Of course, Lamb of God.
Big Lamb of God like fan. Like I can go to the concert and kind of just stay there forever. Like I wouldn't even care.
You know every word. That's like your band.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One of the best shows I've seen live a few times was James was a No Winger. No.
Really?
No.
That's okay.
Somebody's being, that's somebody's being.
Did you see Winger live?
I like to see live was Guar. I've seen Guar like 5 times. Was definitely a show.
The filthiest, most fun time.
If I saw they were coming like to town, I'm like, I'm getting that day off. Like I definitely have to go check that out. It was my go-to.
What do they call? What do they follow? They have like a name for the people that go to and follow Guar. There's like a name for them.
What they call it?
Like their little. The Guarmy? Are they a Guarmy or something? Like a Guar army?
But it was something more like gruesome.
Yeah.
Like I know all their names. Like there's like Slime Master Hyman. There's this person. There's that person. Like I've seen them live too and been covered in like go to a Guar show, wear white.
Yep.
Hey, there's Ty.
Hey.
Go to like you wear white and then you keep your T-shirt.
I think I still have.
It's like going to. Do you? Everyone who's been to a Guar show has like a T-shirt like I wore this to Guar, and like and everyone who's been to a Guar show is like, yep, you did. Guar is wild to see live. They are fucking wild to see live. It's immersive.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that those are the one bands that you wish that your parents would have let you go to their concert.
Don't tell your parents that you're going to see Guar. He's like, I'm going to sleep over at her house or his house. I'm going to sleep over at Guar's house.
Good time. I love that stuff. What's another metal band that you're really into? Because what's another metal band that Tanya's into?
I like old metal riffs, like kind of over like 80s rock. I really like bands like Heart, like that start like things like Barracuda with a like really old school like roots metal, like things that I would call roots metal, the things that have started. But new metal, like I like. Do you know Today Is the Day? They're like a speed metal band. I really like Today's the Day. I like Neurosis a lot. I like Van Halen. I like Slayer a lot.
Slayer's good.
I like Pantera.
There's another one. There's another one.
It's a great band.
Yeah, great band.
Dimebag, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah. Oh, I figured that's where you were going with it.
Yeah.
That was actually
we played that same venue.
last concert I went to.
Did
was
you play
Slayer.
that Slave venue?
Yeah, we did. You went to Pantera. That was the last concert you went to.
No, last concert I went to was Slayer. The Slayer farewell
Slayer?
tour. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Oh,
Slayer,
nice.
Cannibal Corpse, Lamb of God.
Oh my gosh, we had a show with Cannibal Corpse one night in, oh god, I can't remember where we were, but they couldn't get across the border. Like it was taking forever for them to, they eventually showed up, but they gave them a hassle at the border. They'd always give metal bands like a hassle at the border. I'm like, come on, like they're not doing anything wrong. They have long hair, leave them alone. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Like shred you to death with their guitar skills? Like, what are they going to do? What harm could they possibly bring into this country? So we had played a show with Cannibal Corpse one night, and it was a small bar in a more southern state. I can't remember where it was. I never knew where we were, but because we were always somewhere. But they were just phenomenal. Like they were just like on point. Every note was just, it was like listening to classical music. That's why I like metal so much, because anyone who loves like theory and stuff like that and loves classical music will immediately be drawn to metal. Big time, I think.
Well, that's why Ozzy did a lot of his, he'll have that classical piece playing before some of his songs to show that the influence of classical music was really something that was registering with what you're listening to now in metal. Absolutely.
Big time.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of new like metal bands. I don't know what's come out like now lately. I know like the girl Mercedes is doing stuff like from Kitty. She's doing stuff like with her band called White Swan, and they're almost like a doom metal band. They've got like almost like synth. They've got some amazing influences that you wouldn't even believe, like ELO influences. They do a cover of Wings' Jet. Check it out. Fallon's doing stuff musically too. She's doing more of like an electro pop stuff. Morgan's still doing metal, like with another metal band called Car Chaos. So everybody's kind of doing metal. I have gone to more of an acoustic side of things and quieted down, but I'm working on some punk stuff, but that is to come. Some real punk rock stuff.
After listening to you guys' podcast with you and Fallon, I started listening to her music. So yeah,
what did you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It's different because I never listened to something like that, but like it was cool to listen to that kind of the aspect of music. You know what I'm saying? It's just a new kind of a light into that music.
And that's what like her and I had that conversation too. I don't listen to a lot of new electronic music at all. Like the old like electronic music I used to listen to was like Portishead and the Sneaker Pimps. How old is that? Very. That's like when Tank Girl came out. So when I put her album on, I'm like, I put it on. I put on the bath. I had some like flameless candles because I don't like fire. So sat in the bath and listened to it. I'm like, this is phenomenal. This is taking me to another place. It was really cool because it was vocally driven. I like harmonies and things like that. Harmonies in metal are something that I think is like underrated too. I love listening to like 5 or 6 part, almost like Queen type harmonies in metal. I love that stuff. And then when doubling and tripling of like guitars, that's for me what makes metal so attractive, like tone and punch. Like you can do so much with it.
Right.
I think you're right. I think there's so much that goes into just really great guitar licks, as well as the sound. So, because behind the scenes, people just think it's just playing. I play a guitar, but to make the sound as wide, you just have to have all of this equipment that you never knew that makes that sound the way it is. Because I have like a Marshall stack, and I could play AC/DC all day. But you put a couple pedals in front of it, you're throwing, muff pies at it. That's my thing. I'm like kind of into that.
Like
the
muff pedals.
Yeah, totally. That cathedral rock stuff. So
like Bob Rock kind of sound.
I love playing that stuff. And so when you but to be able to get the sound that you're really looking for, just like with a bass or with any of this, there's so much behind the scenes of making that sound unique and amazing. The fact that this is the one thing that, and I know music and I know how hard this industry really is. For you at 13 years old, who probably had no idea that there are people in this world that played for 40 years and never got into a top 40, never got into anything, never got in front of except for some bars.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably at 13, you probably took some of it for granted. But here
Oh,
you
for
are in
I'm like,
you're
what is happening?
right, you're 13 playing some of the best metal that has been produced out there. And
But
then
I just started like practicing at like 13. Then we all like met at like 14 years old and just
right.
Yeah.
took off. Like we're in a basement practicing one day, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's play a huge big muff.
Yeah.
Tyler.
He knew.
Ministry used to have brutal pits. Yeah, Ministry did used to have brutal pits.
Oh,
That
I
is like
love
a
it. I
mosh
love
pit, like where you get a piercing like pulled out. Like that is like that kind of pit where you're gonna get punched in the
Like-
face, piercings are coming out, you're gonna get bloody nosed.
It's the way
Yeah,
it
I
Al
used to
is.
Jordan.
love mosh
Oh my God.
pits.
Al Jorgensen
I'm a
was
small
amazing.
I'm a small person, but I used to love mosh pits like as a young kid, especially being a girl too. That was not a girl thing to do. Like now it doesn't matter because everybody just does whatever the fuck they want. But back then I was a tomboy sort of. So I'm just like, let's get into the mosh pit. They're like, you're like 4 feet tall. Stay out of the mosh pit. So there'd be a lot of guys that look like you. There'd be lots of beardy guys, big burly guys. But you know what? I'd be like, tap you on the shoulder. I tap like someone like you or James on the shoulder. I said, can you put me up? And whoosh, up go, crowd surfing. Thank you, bearded family. And that is like where my love of beards began, was fucking metal. Metal brought me to being the Paganophile that I am.
Love it.
Ask my husband.
And I have
Metal did it.
I've had plenty of people go up there, like go
See?
you know what I'm saying, crowd surfing. So I've been one of those people.
Love it.
Oh my
Love
God. Yeah. I probably tapped you on the shoulder. You probably put me up some kind of show. See?
So why metal? Why metal, Tanya? Why metal? I mean, I know why I love metal. Why metal? Why do you play metal? What is it in it for you? I mean, other than some of the things we've talked about, but what made you like gear towards metal when you were
Honestly,
like 13, 14?
at the time, it was a girl band. It wasn't metal. It was the fact that I got to play with a girl band because I'd been listening to like Veruca Salt. I'd been listening to Hole. I'd been listening to the Breeders, like, and then other girl bands like the Supremes and like Dolly Parton, like girl bands, like ladies. I'd been listening to a lot of that stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to be in a girl band so bad. But no one wanted to play like Riot Girl music. So I'm like, what else can I play? And I was angry as fuck. And I met these girls and they were so cool. How many Ozfests did I play? I did not play any of the Ozfests. I quit right before Ozfest. I played on the Spit album. It got released. The cover was changed. And then Talina was put on the cover and Talina played Ozfest. And I do love the Donnas, Gary. The Donnas are the shit.
Yeah, I've listened to
That's
the Donnas.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. The Donnas are amazing. That is one band that is like, you can see them live and they sound like they do on the album. They are amazing. And they are such good musicians. That is another band that just, they blow my mind. I love the Donnas. So being like listening to all these girl bands and loving them, I'm like, oh, this is a band with girls. And then I remember coming over to the girls, like Morgan and Mercedes' house the first time where they jammed and hearing them play for the first time. I was like, my jaw was on the ground. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, this is girls. I'm like, okay, I want to join this. This is amazing. I'm like, it's so loud. Holy shit. My mom's going to shit. My dad's going to shit. Everybody's going to shit. There's going to be shit everywhere. And like, I remember like, even like when my parents, like we found some CDs that we had recorded young and stuff. And I remember the girl's dad, his name was Dave, he's passed now, but he had written on the front of the CD, listening instructions, fasten your seatbelt. And I'm sure putting this in a car and listening to a bunch of like 14 and 15-year-olds, like bang it out to metal, like hard, was like really astonishing for people. Because even when we played in front of crowds, we get like made fun of and stuff. And we'd have older guys and girls like be like, they'd laugh at us. And it was not, you know, it was not very nice. But then they'd see us play and they'd realize that, okay, these girls take it seriously. They're musicians. It's not just a sleepover every night. We're working here too. We were working girls, not that way, but we were working girls. Not that kind of working girls.
So
Woo-hoo-hoo.
so you played a lot of venues, and then in 19, right after your first album goes out,
Gold.
it goes
Gold.
it goes gold, which is still amazing.
It's
What
super cool.
What made you say, "Hey, I need to take a step back"?
I need to peace
Yeah,
out.
I was gonna ask
There
that
was so
too.
much going on, and it was honestly really scary. I remember being at one particular festival, which was really fucking awesome. We played with some cool bands. We played with like Everclear and what do you call them? Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav was
Like Public
there.
Enemy?
Yes, and like that morning, I remember we'd done an interview with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. He was the morning man in Hartford, Connecticut, and there was a guy here in town actually named Howie Zowie who is his like assistant. So now he works in town. So we keep in touch. He's a cool dude. I remember playing this show in Hartford, Connecticut, and there were so many fucking people there. It was like a sea of people, and I'm like, this can't be like for us, and it was. And I was like, okay, I'm a little bit like nervous now. So like I took my glasses off so I can't see anything. I can't see anybody's face. So everybody's blurry. So I'm not nervous anymore. We play a big show and everything. And then after the show, they kind of went and sat us at like this tent at a table. And I'm like, what are we going to do now? They're like, you're going to sign autographs. I'm like, we're going to sign autographs? For who? Like,
That's awesome.
no one's gonna want our autograph. I was kind of chuckled to myself. I'm like, this is silly. Can we just go get some dinner? I want to go get some ravioli or some tacos or something. And there was a line like from this like tent where we were like up around the corner around. I'm like, is that a lineup for the bathroom? They're like, no, that's a lineup for your girl's autograph. I'm like, and at that point I was like, okay,
That's all.
this is going to
It's
get really, really big. And it hit me. Yeah. That's when I got like, what do the kids call it now? Woke or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I had like my Oprah light went on. Oprah and Gail both went on. They're like, boom, boom. I was like, people were like, hey, can I have your autograph? Can you put to so-and-so, love Tanya? And I'm just like, wow. So it was getting really real. And it wasn't like, for me, I was like, oh God, I'm not going to get to be a real person anymore. Like, I want to go home. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like with my best friends. It's the best scenario ever. We all get along super well. There's no like tension in the band. Everything's really easy. Touring super easy. And then this is scary. So that's when I kind of pieced out. I was like, all right, I can't do this on such a large scale. I'm too nervous for this.
And I
So
can
that was
imagine
my
that as well.
kind
You
of
know what I'm saying?
exit.
You're thinking, you're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna play. We're just gonna do nothing. You know, we're just gonna entertain these people, and then all of a sudden it's just like you have 400 people waiting for your autograph. You're like, wow.
Well, it's not like you don't want to give 400 people your autograph either, but I'm wondering, I'm like, why do you want what do you want it for?
Like you realize how big
strange.
you got. You realize how big
Yeah,
you would
and
become.
that was really, really scary. And I think maybe I got too big, like for my britches, like too young. I think I was way too young for it then. Like it was like, wow, this is real. And it really hit me like a ton of bricks. So that was my exit. But then I still played in bands after that, girl bands too, for crying out loud. I never learned. More girl bands.
But still
like
fun.
more punk bands and stuff. Always fun. Like
Cool.
I never had riffs with girls in bands. Mercedes and I played together again in another band called the Alcoholics. And it was like a stoner rock synth metal. I don't know, James, you've heard them.
Good too. Really good too.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
We had fun. Like the keyboard leads were actually intended for guitar. When the Alcoholics were like at our heaviest, it was like 3 girls and it was lead guitar and just drums and bass. And it was heavy as fuck. It was really amazing. The keyboard like adds another dimension, but most of those leads on keyboard were meant for guitar. So totally awesome. You can check out the Alcoholics. They're not really still going or anything like that, but if you can check them out, you probably dig them if you dig metal. There's a lot of metal influences with the Alcoholics there. Especially with Mercedes on drums.
Too. It's not like my constant playlist too. Like if I play on YouTube, I go on YouTube, whatever. I say, hey, play random music. Like throughout the whole time, it'll play. They know what I listen to, so it'll come up.
That's cool. Crazy. I know mine does that too. Like your list for you. My bio states that I'm blonde. My bio lies. My bio also says that I'm still eating sushi rolls.
That's right.
I ate a 1-foot-long sub at 10:30 last night. Like I'm not gonna lie. It ended up on the doorstep. I got a sub. I ordered a sub last night. I'm like, I'm hungry at 10:30 at night. Let's have a sub. I'm like, I'm gonna have something healthy because eating at 10:30 is super healthy.
Exactly.
So I ordered a sub, and it was like a
Sub.
$25 sub. I put all the bells and whistles on it. I was like, let's put chicken on it. Let's put garlic aioli on it. Like Rob's like, what do you do? Did you pay $25 for a sub? And I was like, yeah. He's like,
4 pounds.
Maybe.
Karen. I'm like, is that Karen's sub or is that your sub? I'm like, oh, that sub's for Karen. It said Karen right on it. So I ordered like a grilled chicken sub or something. So it gets to the door and there's a note on it that says, we ran out of grilled chicken. Try rotisserie instead. I was like, so Karen's $25 sub. I was like, what the fuck? So I get on like with the customer chat and I'm just like, yo, I did not get what I ordered. I'm not angry. I'm not going to swear. I just would like my money back. I just ordered a $25 sub. And I said, oh, I kind of lied a little bit. I was like, and I can't eat it. I mean, I didn't say I won't. I said I can't. I meant I can't right now. I can when you give me $23.99 plus tax back in skip credits.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So this very helpful gentleman gave me my money back in skip credits, which I will now order spring rolls with, whatever. And I put that sub in the air fryer and I ate the fuck out of it. It was awesome.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Don't tell Skip the Dishes. Send the check. Send the check, Skip the Dishes. Oh, geez. James, did you bake today?
Yeah.
That's
What
what
did you
we're looking.
make?
Oh yeah. What that one is? I don't even know. What did you make something?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, let's see this. Let's see this food. So we're part of the desserts part has to be dessert. So what did Tanya make? Let's see it.
All right, here they are. I made some key lime tarts in the key of drop C sharp because that's metal.
There you
That's
go.
So I made some key lime tarts. I don't eat a lot of sugar anymore because hyper. We don't eat any more of that. We already got this Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
Holy
That's
shit. Uh-oh. Chad is going to send this live stream to Skip the Dishes. They're going to know. They're going to know. Oh my God, I'm changing my name. I'm changing my name on my Skip the Dishes account. That's it.
Like,
That's it.
she eats that sandwich anywhere. She can't eat that sandwich.
They're like, everything's now going to be labeled Karen. Everything's just going to say Karen on it. Poor fucking Karen. I'm so glad there's no Karens on this stream. I'm sure they're awfully nice. I don't know how that Karen thing started. There's man Karens too.
There is man Karens. Absolutely there are. So chef, what did you make? I know that I saw pictures of bread.
I saw it today too. I was so excited.
Oh! So I made something on Sunday and I made something today. So on Sunday I did like chocolate chip macadamia nut brownies.
Oh,
like straight like homemade, like cocoa and everything, the whole no box out of the box shit. And then I did the box. The bread.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you you said you brushed some butter on top of it.
Oh yeah.
So those pictures you sent me were like gleaming.
I know.
They were gleaming with butter. And I was like, yeah, we love butter.
It's so like more, it was just
look how soft it is.
I know.
Here, what should I do with this? Should
eat it. So I made chocolate peanut butter balls.
Ooh. Balls.
And these are
you made two, thank God.
I made two. I made a whole bag. I made a few more.
Made a whole bag of balls. He made a whole bag of balls.
I made a whole bag of balls.
Oh man.
Peanut butter balls. Dragon balls.
Dragon balls.
Dragon Ball. I just started watching Game of Thrones, so this is going to be about Dragon Balls. I've never seen it before in my whole life because when it comes to nudity in shows, I'm like a 12-year-old boy. I'm just like, what's up, horse tits? Like, blonde hair lady takes her shirt off when she's like, they said something, I don't know. There was a line in the movie or the show about sex. And she was married. She's getting married to the blonde girl's I'm like in episode 2 of the first season.
Yeah.
The blonde girl is getting married to the horse guy, Aquaman guy.
Yeah. Yep.
D'Artagnan. What is his name? Tartanian.
D'Artagnan or something like that.
whatever. He's one of the
King.
Three Musketeers, that guy. But they're talking about their sex life. He's like, he takes to her like a hound to the bitch. And I'm like, oh God. So now I can't get it out of my head. And then of course, cut to like hound to the bitch. Like it was just.
I will say if anybody didn't notice that Tanya fingered her pie while Prack showed his 2 balls. So
That's right.
But he's got a whole bag. He's got a whole bag, and I just went American Jason Biggs.
I got the biggest
Jason
balls of them all.
I went Jason Biggs style on a tart. I want you to put your beard in. I want you to put your beard in something. Like dip it. Dip the beard. I bet you there are channels of like weird girls and probably gentlemen too, like that want to see weird beard stuff. Because I know there's like weird feet stuff. Do you guys ever get anything weird like that?
No. My wife hates my beard and wants me to chop it off every chance she gets a chance. Every time.
Don't let Delilah chop off that beard power. No, Delilah. Run, Samson, run. Run, Samson, run.
So today I went and got this I got just trimmed up, and the guy did a good job. I wanted a little bit of the split ends and stuff cut out, and he did a really excellent job. So, and made band barber out in Gilbert, Arizona, just so anyway, yeah, that's who takes care of me. So, but I come back, I take a picture, of course. I'm like, hey, just got my hair cut, got some hairs cut. Let's go and your hair looks nice.
Nothing about
the beard.
this.
Nothing.
Like not even like a topiary. Like you look groomed. You look like a nice bush. Like the bush has been trimmed.
She was after the. I want my husband who had like a goatee. I had a goatee for like 20 years. So
really,
I rocked the goatee for a long, long time, and that's the reason why I got into the beard, because I was like so tired of. I was like I'm 40 something now. I want to stop doing the same style I've had. So I started growing the beard out, but then I would get the beard itch, and I'm just like, oh, I got to shave this stuff off again. It hurts. Then I found then we found products, and then that's the rabbit hole. That was the rabbit hole right there. Yeah.
That's my husband. My husband too. He never used beard oil until we got together, and I'm like, oh, you know what? My friend from high school actually has a beard oil company. And he's like, shut up. I'm like, seriously, no, we went to high school together. We were like, I was the first person. They were like the first people we talked to. We were in high school. So Ty runs Woolly Wizard here in town. And Rob fell in love with his oils like immediately. And his beard is so well like maintained now. And I love it. Like the bigger it gets, I'm just like, grow that beard, grow that beard. I love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever. Add some like chops, you know what I mean? Like sideburns.
Right.
I love facial hair. My dad had a big beard and like a mustache growing up. Goatee for 20 years for Russ.
Love it.
We had a song in the Alcoholics called Who Wants to Go for a Mustache Ride? That's how much we love facial hair. We played with a band. Actually, you want to look up a good bearded band. Look up a band called Larry and His Flask. They probably still sell merch. They used to sell t-shirts. The whole band's bearded. There's like about 12 dudes. 12. We see hubby in the rooms. He's not here. They have about 12 guys in the band, and they used to sell t-shirts that say free beard rides. They were the most clever merch for a bearded band I have ever seen in my life. They should have sold oils too, but this was like, I don't know, probably like 10, 11 years ago. So this is before like oils were getting really big, and men weren't really focused on for taking care of like their manscaping. They're like, oh, dudes just have a shower and just wash with some soap and wash their hair with some Head and Shoulders, and then they're done.
Right.
That's what I
like
use
sometimes you gotta Patrick, but sometimes you gotta Patrick Bateman it up.
That's right.
You gotta get all American Psycho in that shower. You got to get all that stuff on and get yourself all pretty, right?
We got to look good for the ladies. We got to look good for the ladies or the men if you're into men.
Look,
either way.
You're into, whoever's into you, it doesn't matter. You got to look good. You got to look good for yourself.
And smelling good.
Look in that mirror. Oh yeah, you got to be looking hot, smelling good. You're like Beyonce. You look in the mirror, you lick your lips like fucking LL Cool J.
That's
like,
right.
Slow, like real slow, like you're doing it and doing it well. So that's how you got to keep that beard.
That's right.
Oh my god,
So
you guys are
Scott
hilarious.
Scott the Bearded Zebra said, I talked to Scott earlier, the Bearded Zebra, and so he said,
Scott's
Yeah.
awesome.
Tanya just wanted to say Kitty was one of the bands I listened to in the 90s, and it was an inspiration.
Oh, thanks, man. That means a huge amount. Like it just
I was talking
to know
to
that
him earlier.
people
He was,
still think about it now. That makes me like
Yeah.
it seriously makes me want to cry because it's such a huge honor to have that. Maybe I'm not doing it now, but to leave that behind. I'll always have that
Right.
to leave behind, and it's cool as fuck that I got to be a part of something with some really cool people. And now I get to share it with all you cool people, which is really awesome.
And now you're a mom, so
Yes, I am.
she can take off here in a bit. And I want to get off
Yeah.
to current life. Current life is
Yes.
2 kids, a podcast.
Yes.
And what else is going on in your world right now? I mean, what is it? You're married to a film producer or film director?
We're almost married. We're married in our hearts. We are non-traditional.
No, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you have 2 kids, you have the family
Yes.
vibe going on. You have an awesome podcast. Absolutely love her podcast. And can you shout out to your podcast? What is
It is at 21st Century Rocker Mom Podcast. You can get it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. You can find me on Instagram. I'm just at 21st Century Rocker Mom. There's a link there. You can get it. It's all free. You can just stream it. And if you like swearing, and there's some parenting advice in there. So now I'm home. I am a stay-at-home mom, but at nighttime, that's when I work because all day is with the kids. Rob makes films, so he's got a lot of films on like Netflix and things right now. He's sold a few new series, so I'm actually helping with a lot of associate production and like production assisting with some action figure stuff and some pop culture things. I'm doing a lot of voiceover work, or I was doing a lot of voiceover work before the pandemic, and voice artistry. So doing stuff like that. So you may hear my voice over some little cartoons or something. So sometime your kids watch cartoons, and I do a lot of voiceover work for Rob, but I'm working currently on some music, and I'll be dropping about what's happening there. And you guys are going to be the first to know that on episode 13 of my podcast, actually, I've got Mercedes Lander, the drummer of Kitty, for a live one for episode 13. So I thought I would save her for unlucky number 13, but that's lucky in my culture, Polish people. So yeah, now it's momming it up, doing the teamwork with the hubster, and just domestic life, but rocker momming it up.
That's still cool.
Oh yeah.
That's
always
still, yeah, that's a cool life. And you know what's so fun is that I think that when you have music as like part of your life and that artistry, it's in there forever. It's just part of your blood.
Oh yeah. It's part of like the kids now too. The kids love it. Like they want to play ukulele. They want to pick this up. They want to pick that up. A lot of parents are like, oh shit, don't let your kids pick up the instruments. They're going to break them. I'm like, oh geez, if they break them, I'll just buy another one. They're learning, man. Like how many guitars have I seen Green Day smash the shit out of at a concert?
Right.
Just get another one. That's it. We're a Green Day loving house in this because Rob, I think, has played with Green Day on stage like 12 times. They've called him, when they call someone up into the audience.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy has been called up with Green Day more than anyone I know in my life. There's a show, there's a YouTube video of him playing with them in Houston, Texas, live. I'm like, he shows the kids, and the kids again are like, oh, check out Mom's TikTok. She put her face in snow. It's so funny. I'm like, but look what your dad did. Look at how successful he is. They're like, oh my God, TikTok for children. I swear to God, is like the be all and end all of everything.
Yeah. It's catnip. It's catnip for kids.
Oh my God, it is big. It's methamphetamine for children. It's like that speed. TikTok is, like I say, I do funny TikTok shit for my kids, and that's about the stuff they can see. And then I like TikTok karaoke because I miss karaoke so much with this pandemic.
I know. So what is your handle on TikTok? Same thing?
On TikTok? I think it's just 21st Century Rocker Mom. Yeah.
Cool. That's what I thought.
You can get me there. I think it says like the real Tanya Candler or something like this, but it's 21st Century Rocker Mom. That's where I am. Pretty much you can find me there everywhere.
Right.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So what favorite venue you've ever played at? I've always wanted to know about from like perspective of musicians that have made it. What is your
Mhm.
favorite venue that you would say, hey, that was the best venue I've ever played at?
Oh God. And you know what? It's so funny because it's just like such a small, like local venue too. We used to have this club in town called the Embassy. It is now rubble piled to the ground, but that is like where we got our start. One club called the Embassy and one club called the Office. Call the Office is still standing, but it's closed. You can look these places up on the internet. They have like Facebook groups about their history and stuff. But the Embassy was where we really got our start. And I missed that stage. I missed the setup. There was like a big pole. James has seen the pole. There's a picture of our friend Tyler standing beside it with his band. It's got stickers all over it, and he's shredding with.
Oh,
That's where I used to stand. James can know from perspective. Andy, he can send you this picture. He can send you
Right
this
on.
picture. And you'll see for perspective, this is where I used to stand. And I miss this venue so much because the way you could connect with the crowd, you get your foot right up on the monitors. You'd be right, like they'd be right in your face. You could really interact. It was seriously the best club. It was like a long hallway. Everybody drank underage. Like the idea of giving ID there was you get to the door and the person at the door would say under or over. And they meant like age. And you just say over and they just go stamp or under if you were a stupid idiot. The Embassy, Tyler. Oh my God, that woolly wizard knows what I'm talking about. Oh my God, so many fun shows at the Embassy. Oh my God, so many funny. Oh my God, so many good memories there. But it was a great time. It was a great time. What's up?
All Tyler's pictures on MySpace.
Oh my God, I wish I could. Well, I was like, I told you the other day, I'm like, I think I'm gonna leave my MySpace alone. Because I definitely was blonde on MySpace. It looked like I did some kind of weird amateur photo shoot thing. Don't go looking through MySpace. Stick to your space. This is personal space.
Yeah. So MySpace, for a lot of people who don't, this was before Facebook, but MySpace was the social media, and it was definitely geared towards musicians because that's where my sister was trying to promote, and it was still up going for a while. And then, there's too many viruses in it now, but
big time.
like, yeah, you just can get, because they let you do JavaScript, which is nerd talk they let you do some scripting and you can get viruses from it.
You're going to get a disease.
You're going to get a disease just by entering.
Put on your computer condoms, everybody.
That's right.
I got latex allergy. Forget about it.
Sheepskin.
Sheepskin.
No, man. Just raw dog it. Seriously, raw dog it. Raw dogging it. No, seriously.
MySpace.
You can take your hat off. It's time to pull the goalie because what the hell is a condom? Oh, right, everybody's like married. Everybody's married or with like significant others. You know what I mean? And paired off and everything, and had their kids or probably had their whatever they need. What is a condom? Young kids, you should be wearing a condom. Google it.
Yeah.
Put on don your sheath. That's from Game of Thrones.
If you're over the age of 21, don't wear a condom. That's good.
If it feels good, do it. If it feels good, do it. If you heard it here first.
Tanya from Kitty has told everybody if it feels good, do it. So we're just taking that right out.
Put your jeans in somebody else's jeans.
Oh yeah. Fundies, like those underwear that two people could wear. Do you remember those? Fundies. They have like a him and her on the box.
That's right.
Oh, I've got like. Is this what I feel? You man. Now I know how boys feel, and some girls too.
True.
Key limey, slimy.
Come on.
You guys are killing me. Oh, you guys are a hoot. I knew this was going to be a fun time. I was like, I'm so excited to hang out with you guys. Oh, Jesus.
Good times. That's my favorite thing. Good times. Good times. Good
times are always good.
Yeah. Do you know what? There's nothing like hanging out with musicians, though. That's the one thing. Anybody who, even if you've ever played anything, even if you played in band, musicians have a bond that we just all have together, because we realize that playing an instrument, when you pick it up, there is art that's connected to it. history
Absolutely.
connected to it. There is also all of the passions that is involved in it. And I think it's just amazing how you can, and it's an expression. I play guitar, so I'll play guitar, I'll just be playing some blues riffs just in that mood, you're just sitting
Yeah.
in, you're just kind of feeling maybe a little depressed, and you're like, the blues is speaking to me today. I'm going to play some blues riffs, and I'm just going to jam on that for, an hour or two.
Yeah,
And
man.
I feel better. You always feel better. I think that
it's true.
totally.
Music is one of those healing things, and it's universal for musicians. Like you say, no matter what level you've played at, it doesn't matter what level you played at. Rock stars and famous people are gross. Musicians are musicians. We're all the same. We're all human beings, and that's the great thing we share. It's that human musician, that artistry, that creative connection that we've all got together, and I think that's really, really cool. We can come together and do things like that.
Right. I will say though, like the bearded community itself, though, like. One of the first times I went on the was like the Beard Oil Roulette, and no shit, when Tyler was like, "Hey, what's up, Tanya?" Like, "Oh yeah, Tanya's like the bassist for Kitty." I'm like, "What?"
Huh?
Like, so I'm like, "What what is that?" Like, what's going on here? So that's why I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, the beard community brought me to get to
the
talk to somebody like. That I grew up.
I love the bearded community. I love the bearded community. I gotta say that.
Awesome.
I don't belong to any clubs or anything like that, but I am a huge bearded supporter. I love the bearded community. The bearded community is so warm and welcoming, and it's not like a catty community. It's everybody. It's like a brotherhood and a sisterhood. It's a family. Right. It's a crew. Everybody kind of watches each other's back. I think it's really fucking cool. So I have mad respect for the beard community. Mad respect. I think that's also another really cool connection. Family takes care of each other, man. Musicians and beards gotta help each other, man. If we don't take care of each other, no one else is going to. Love and all that stuff is the bridge. Oh, yeah. It's important.
Love is everything, honestly. So
big time, especially now.
I was following your Instagram, all that. Like that same night, I was at work, I think, and I'm like, what? Yeah. Amazing.
I can't believe it.
Isn't that so cool though? See, this is the coolest part, is that when you meet somebody that you are connected in that way. Like, I listened to you before I knew that you were who you were, right?
Sure.
So you're just like, I listen to this metal all the time. I grew up on metal, especially during that time frame where this kind of metal was just this really dark metal. You went from Anthrax to some awesome bands that were out there during the 80s and 90s, and they were playing venues that were so small that you didn't even, they were but there was a following behind this darker Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, not so much Metallica, Megadeth is still, they're still kind of in that, and then you throw in Dave Mustaine. He lives here in the town, actually. Yeah.
Rob fucking loves Megadeth more than anyone I know in my life. My husband and Megadeth, they're like peas and carrots. Band. They're solid as fuck.
Yeah. Has he met Dave? Has he met Dave?
I don't, he was supposed to go to, I think it was before COVID hit. There was a Megadeth fantasy camp where you'd go and hang out with Dave Mustaine and for the weekend. And I think he either bid on it or was supposed to go to it or something like that. But I think COVID hit and he couldn't go. But I know there was something with Dave Mustaine that he was supposed to go to. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. That's awesome. Cameo in person. Could you imagine?
Yeah, no doubt.
That is crazy. I've never met Dave Mustaine either.
That'd be awesome. What do you have to say? That would be
cool.
James?
Oh no, so the first Megadeth song I listened to was on actually a Beavis and Butthead soundtrack.
I know what you're talking about.
That was called The Experience. It's called The Experience. Yeah. So it was Megadeth, Anthrax, and it was 99 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
And it was all the stuff they play on the show, right?
Yeah,
that's what a lot of kids got into metal, was watching Beavis and Butthead on MTV and watching Primus, Primus, fuck, Les Claypool. Shit.
Yeah, he's some serious when you think about
another bassist.
Yeah,
oh that was God. I can't believe I didn't bring him up. Yeah. I'm sorry.
He's a total influence. That was influential. The way that he was, because he wasn't any part of any he was so different and so unique and so good. So good
Like,
for a time
come at
period
an
where,
instrument, like,
right. Yeah.
you come at an instrument how you'd never think of playing an instrument, and then it sounds like that. You're like, what is going on here? Like, to watch him, I've seen Primus live too, so it's like to watch him is like it blows your mind, and they're fucking awesome live, and
Yeah.
I mean, and recorded, just amazing, just an amazing band all around.
Well, it's
Even
like
when
White Stripes.
he came out with his just regular band. Like, I think it was just Les Claypool and something. I forgot what it was, but
The
it
somethings.
was. I forgot what. Yeah, but the songs were just whether he incorporated like cello or he incorporated like just anything, string instruments, whatever. He brought it, and
he always
awesome.
brings it. He's consistently, like, he's one of those artists that's just like consistently good. I'm like, wow, you cannot fuck up, can you? Those are the musicians you're just like,
I know.
Some
people
Claypool.
there's people out there that just have that, just have it. They just are born in that almost like amazing savant musicianish. The rest of us have to work.
Everybody else has to
and
work
then there's
at
this, and he's a savant and just can play. He just picks it up and it's. Do you know who he reminds me of? Is the current ones that I think about is White Stripe. So
oh yeah,
he picks up like just the way he plays is just like, holy moly. I've seen some guitar solos on YouTube and some other places where you're just like, he's playing the hell out of that guitar. And it's like,
it's natural. It comes natural. It just looks like you just picked it up and did it. It doesn't look like there was any effort to it.
Right.
Have I seen Static X's videos for all these years?
Static X
I have
is
not.
good.
I have not. I love Static X, but I have not seen the videos for all these years and feel like you were visited by a ghost, but in a good way. I'm going to check this video out and see if I was visited by a ghost.
You will.
But in a good way. Am I going to like trip my balls off? Like, what is going to happen when I watch this video? Oh,
Static
Wayne
X
Static.
is.
I miss Wayne Static, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Like, he was, to me, he was so Static X. Like, I'm really like, not that I have anything wrong with like a band getting back together, like after that kind of thing happens. Not for me personally, but Static with Wayne Static, they were magic. They were fucking magic.
Oh yeah. Like literally me and my girlfriend, that was one of our first shows that we went to, was a Static X show.
Really? That's awesome. What a date that must have been.
It was Static X. It was Static X and OTEP.
Oh, so you knew she was a keeper, right?
Yeah.
You knew she was a keeper. Oh yeah, OTEP, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome. Yep, she's a keeper. That's awesome. You better put a ring on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He knows. So I don't want to keep you too. I don't want to keep. I mean, it's like a little bit later. I know you have a thing going on with
engagement.
Beard Oil, another engagement. So I don't want to keep you that long. But I do want to know. So we're saying, do you have anything? We always kind of go in. What is the next month, 2 months look like for you? Are you producing something? Is there a new album coming out? What are you? I mean, some new podcasts are definitely coming out. But what's going on in your world that's going to come out soon that people can look forward to?
Lots of podcasts coming out, but you're going to actually be looking forward to music coming out very slowly, but it'll be spit out at you a little bit at a time. So you're going to be looking for some new music from me. Which is something that's not happened in like 20 years. So it's going to be something. It's going to be a process. I'm excited too.
It's exciting. Yeah. And you can't take the music out of you. You just can't. I mean, it's just going to be in there and it's just waiting to come out. So I'm excited to hear what it sounds like, because you're saying it's more acoustic nowadays.
Well, some of it I wrote when I was 19 and like 18. And I'm just like, I've never released it. So I'm just like, you know what? This needs to come out now. So I'm kind of reproducing it and rearranging it and working with like a lot of studio musicians and stuff like that, because I am the kind of person that really likes to produce and stuff, and like the Brian Wilson thing to like, it's hard to fly around a studio when you can't see people right now because of COVID. So trying to get studio musicians to do things, at another studio. I can pipe everything in here. I can do vocals. I have some guests coming in and on and fun things, and there's a lot of surprises coming down the pipe. So it's gonna be a really fun project. So I'm excited for it, and that's all I can say about that.
And
so that's what you can expect.
Speaking of Brian Wilson, my mom, I used to listen to a lot of Beach Boys as well because of my mom.
Yeah.
So I listened
Did
to a
you?
lot of Beach Boys. She was watched all like the documentaries of Brian Wilson and all that stuff. So I mean, I've even gone to sleep listening to Beach Boys, like it's as a kid.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
they're my favorite band, like hands down, ever, 100%. The Beach Boys even trumped the Beatles for me, because that was just my safe place band. Everybody has that band you can go to where you just feel like a warm blanket gets wrapped around you. That's the Beach Boys for me.
Yeah,
big time.
Good memories, I'm sure, that you shared with your parents.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and the beach, and boys, probably.
And boys.
Oh God. Good Lord. Anyways,
We won't talk about that. Those were back in
go-
those days.
I'm gonna go finger bang my tarts.
go handle my ball. Go handle his ball.
Oh yeah. One hand on the milk, fingers in the tart. It's gonna be like a rap song, because that's what the kids do these days. So it's actually a rap album. I'll be dropping my new single, Pussy Pussy Tart Pussy, next week. Like,
Finger tart.
this is what the kids love. Finger tart, finger blast, finger tart.
Finger
Oh
tarts.
God. This is gonna be a new hashtag on Beard Oil Roulette. Look out for finger tart. 8 years old and got a boombox and the Beach Boys cassettes for Christmas. Yes.
Oh
That's
I love
right. That's
Christmas
right.
comes but
Oh,
once a year. Merry Christmas, Santa.
That's
Facts.
right. Good times. So,
Oh my God, I love it. Little Saint
James,
Nick.
James, what do you got going on the next week or so? We'll be on again, hopefully here in a bit. I'm just letting everybody know. I'm just gonna give total kudos to James today. He found Tanya. He got her on. I am so appreciative of him, and he's taken over right here. I absolutely love who he's picked, and to me, this is like, I don't know how you're going to top this one, James. I just don't know how you're going to do it.
I was just gonna say that I don't know who's gonna be on next week. I really don't.
Yeah.
We may thinking cap.
We might just be like, hey, mic drop. We're done.
Do you want to do a round two? No. Hey, come on! You got lots of fun people you got on here. Come on, I've seen your guests. You got lots of interesting people to talk to.
I might have to ask your tarts might have to be my next guest.
That's right.
The tarts.
That's right.
They will tell you the truth. The gushy truth.
So what happened to you last week?
Like, oh, I don't know. I got my fingers stuck in a tart. I can't get it out. It's like a finger trap.
Story of my life. The story of my life right there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez Louise.
Okay, well,
I'm off to go spin the wheel of roulette.
yes,
and,
go spin some. So that's what I'm going to say. Go visit Woolly Wizard Beard Co.'s YouTube, and he's going to be doing some spinning with Tanya. He's going to make it go round. Exciting stuff.
Fun, actually. Everybody
I saw it. It is really fun.
I think Mick Mann is the host. Mick Mann is the host tonight. I think it's free tonight. I think it's free, and it's free tonight because it's the 20th. It's the 20th anniversary.
Oh.
It's the 20th episode. So I think it's no dinero tonight.
I think I already
it's
my
free play.
I'm good to go next week.
You're good to go next week, baby. I'm like, I'm going to send you $50 so I can play Beard Oil.
I was like, oh shit, it's like $9.15 and then some $1 yet.
Oh shit, yeah. I got to go and do it. I got to get on YouTube.
Okay,
thank
guys.
you for having me on, gentlemen.
You were absolutely
enjoyed it. This was a blast.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. This
you.
was fun. I don't know how we're going to top it. Thank you very, very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy your week, fellas.
Yep. We'll see y'all later. And thank you, everybody who joined us today. We are not doing this unless you guys were joining us too. So we appreciate it. Thanks for everybody who was in the comments. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Adios. She's out.
She's out. And she's out of there.
No.
James, that was freaking... we're still on, and I'm going to say everybody who was on this, that was a blast. What a freaking blast. James, I'm 100%, dude. This was freaking amazing.
Definitely amazing.
Yeah, she's like awesome. Surreal, dude. Surreal. That's all I gotta say. So we're gonna let you guys all go. You enjoy your night wherever it is. Go join the beard oil roulette. I don't even know. I guess there's some money in most of it, but go check it out. There's some awesome people going on, and we're going to probably be over there in a bit. So you guys take care.